everyone, my name is Brittany, and today I'm going to do a spoiler-free book review on Meade's Guide to the McGowan Boys. Now this is an older book, but it is a fave of mine, and I have read this four times already now. Now I might make this a series. I do have a good chunk of Kate Bryan's books. I have, I think, 5 out of the 6 or 7 contemporaries that she has done. Her other series, she has 2 other series that, these are all standalone books, but she has 2 series. One is more of a kind of urban fantasy, I do believe, and then the other I do plan on possibly reading for the Contemporary-a-thon. It's more of a thriller trilogy. So I might end up reading those, and I might end up rereading all of these as well, so that I can give you an honest review of how I feel at 26 compared to when I read them, but when I was a lot younger. I am missing one of the ones that I have read. Now I have a funny story about Sweet 16. Sweet 16 is my probably second favorite Kate Bryan book, and though I have read it twice now, I do believe, somehow it keeps going missing. I cannot keep hold of Sweet 16 by Kate Bryan. So I have re-requested it from my library to see if they can maybe get it for me so that I can reread it and review it for you guys. It is, again, my second favorite Kate Bryan book, so I might make this a series and just review all of her books and be the Kate Bryan person because I absolutely love her contemporaries. Back to the actual point of this video, which is Meade's Guide to the McGowan Boys. I have been reading this since I was about 13. I have loved it every single time I've read it. It really has a special place in my heart because when I first read this when I was 13 or 14, Meade showed a lot of personality that I personally had. So she did remind me a lot of myself. She's very straight and narrow. She does what she's supposed to do. She never talks back to her parents, and that's kind of what I was like when I was 13 or 14. It also was a very hard time in my life. It was the first time that my grandmother had been diagnosed with cancer, and I was living with my grandparents at the time. So it really kind of just helped me through my situation, and I really do just hold a special place in my heart for Meade. But on to what this book is actually about. So Meade is a 16-year-old girl. She is the daughter of 2 army doctors, and they are currently stationed at the start of the book in Texas. One day, her parents come home from work early and tell her, unfortunately, we are moving to South Korea because we have been relocated and stationed in South Korea. Meade, for the first time ever, tells her parents no. She only has 2 years left of high school and doesn't really want to have to move away. She suggests that she should go live with her best friend Tracy, but unfortunately Tracy has a full house already, and her parents say no to that. They do give her a second option, which is moving to Boston into a family friend's house who is the McGowans, and the difference between her house and their house is they have 7 boys. I think the boys range anywhere from 19 or 20 all the way down to 5. I do believe that Caleb is 5. He's either 5 or 6. The only couple that they really talk about what age they actually are the ones that are closest in age to her. So this poor girl is going from being an only child, which I was an only child, to moving in with 7 boys. Now the last time Meade had seen any of these boys, it was 7 years prior to this, so they were all around the age of 9. One of them was just being born. You know, it's been a different experience compared to what she is going into now, which is, as she describes, an Abercrombie catalog. Obviously, all of the boys that she had problems with in the past have grown up and are now teenagers. The oldest is Sean, who I know is out of high school, but it isn't actually defined what his age is. The second oldest is Evan, he is the football star, number one person in the school, most popular, most likely to succeed. He is everything you would think of in a boy next door. He is a senior. Then there is Finn, which is a junior, which is the same as Megan. Then you have the twins, Doug and Miller. Miller is the one who has Asperger's. It is not defined what age Doug and Miller are. However, we do know they are in high school with Megan, Finn, and Evan. So they're either a sophomore or a freshman. And then you have Ian, who is in elementary school with Caleb, who is the youngest. And I think, like I said, I'm pretty sure Caleb is somewhere around that 5 or 6 age. He is still pretending to be Cat, and he is just a little cutie, but a little terror all at the same time. So the title of this book kind of relates to the fact that when Megan gets the opportunity to move in with all these boys, Tracy, her best friend, says you should make a boy guide. You'll see at the end of some chapters, there's text messages and emails back and forth between her best friend Tracy and herself, where she is explaining the rules of boys, how boys are nasty and boys are confusing and boys think with their lower extremities. There's a lot of different rules that she comes up with and has descriptions on, and it's just kind of a heartfelt contemporary book. The ending is a bit abrupt. It doesn't really give any closure. It's kind of almost like there was supposed to be a second book, possibly, of maybe Megan's senior year and trying to figure out all of that. But all in all, I absolutely love this book, and I have never stopped loving this book. It, again, will always hold a special place in my heart, and I think I will forever have this book on my shelf. I did read it on Kindle this time because, as you can see, my little copy of this book is getting a little torn up because I have read it so many times and I have had it for so long. It's the oldest book that I've had on my shelf, aside from some antique books that I've bought, but personally having it, it is the oldest book on my shelf, I do believe. So I do know from reviews that there is a possible concern about slut shaming, but I didn't personally see that. The possible slut shaming that I know of really has more to do with a different situation than actual slut shaming. But if you're not a huge fan of having people fight about who slept with whose boyfriend, then this isn't really the book for you. And neither, I do believe, is Virginity Club either. I do know there's some slut shaming in Virginity Club, so. I haven't seen any reviews on how accurate the autism representation is, so if you have read this book and you are a sibling to somebody with autism, you can let me know. I haven't seen any bad reviews, however, on that. What I have known about, I'm not a psychologist. I don't know all that much about autism. I've only read one other book that had an autistic character. So, unfortunately, I don't know too much about that. That's pretty much it. I did want to do possibly a discussion video. So if you have read this book and you love it as much as I do and you would like to discuss the book, please let me know in the comments below and I can do a spoiler frenzy video where we talk about this book, because I have feelings 10 years later, 12 years later, and I still have feelings about this book, guys. So please let me know. That is pretty much it for today. If you liked this video, please give it a comment and a like so that I know how I'm doing, because this is pretty much only my second review, though this one will probably go up before the first one I had made, so it will probably be my first up. So let me know how I'm doing on spoiler-free book reviews. But other than that, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and yeah, thanks for watching. Goodbye.